back to another update on the Mazda Demio. It's been in the workshop for some really good upgrades. The suspensions are lowered, Cobra Sport suspensions, which made a huge difference on the car. I'll put some pictures which makes it easier for us to check out the distance before and after picture. But when I got it back from the workshop, they made some other errors because of the upgrades with the water pumps and belts and everything. So some small things like a huge filled coolant reservoir here. It's not supposed to be as much as this because full is over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna pour everything from the socket there underneath, which you usually do. And you just tap everything out, because there's going to be a lot of muck underneath the car in this little garage. This is just my spare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hose everything to a bottle like this. I usually use a soft bottle like this, so you can actually do some pumping and make a vacuum inside. And just a normal garden hose like this. I use this for a lot of things, as you can see here as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna attach this with some tape. You can also do this in several other ways. You can do the criminal kind of way as well, that you actually put your mouth here and start sucking everything out and make a vacuum to make it pour out, and turn everything around like this to make it pour in bottles or canisters or whatever. Or you can just, if you're too afraid to get anything in your mouth, just put this back right in here, there, and then when you have enough tubing inside, you just lock the suction with your thumb like this. And then you can slowly tap everything out once again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try the pumping version to make as less mess as possible, and everything will get right in the bottle. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, and then I'm going to complain a bit in the workshop that they need to recheck stuff before they give you back your car. And another really interesting feature here is that I turned the heat shield on the wrong side on the air filter, which is an easy swap, of course. I'm just going to turn it around, but still, this is because they needed to get access to all the belts, and also maybe when fixing the suspension, the upgrade. And then I noticed something else. Also a scratch in one of the ignition cables, which exposes some leads underneath. So I'm gonna tape that, and I'm already ordering better leads for some upgrades as well in the future. But for now I'm just gonna tape it with electrical tape to keep it at least dry and no more cracking if possible. So that's that. I'm gonna show you some pumping action and let you know how it works. So let's see if this works. So first, you see here, too much. There we go. In there and start. Go. Just to keep pouring. You see, it's gathering slowly, but not as much mess as tapping everything out. So I'll keep doing this to see how much I can get out. So, seems to be working fine. Using this bottle and just keep on squeezing to get more suction back in. As you can see, it's dripping. And then when you poured everything you need to pour out, you just pour this into a canister instead of dropping everything on the floor or in a bucket. And in this way I have reduced a lot, as you can see here. I'm just going to keep doing this like maybe 2 times more. And what I did also is to avoid reapplying coolant again, and also releasing bubbles, and keep the engine running and do all that kind of maintenance you usually do when you regulate this kind of things. So, quick tip, easy, cost efficient, and you can also, if you are really poor, you can save this liquid as well and use it later on. So, quick fix. Alright, as you can see, it's perfectly leveled as instructed. And everything is just poured here in this way. And I also managed to save a lot of coolant. As you can see, it's half a bottle already. And it looks real clear and fine. Maybe I'll keep it. Who knows? I have gallons of coolant if necessary, but in this case you can actually save some, and you can do this by the road if something like this happens, or if you just did something wrong during maintenance or you were at the gas station or such. Cheap, easy, and full control. Right, so I'm back again with some extra tips. I got the time to check out the coolant, which I tapped from my Mazda Demio, and as you can see in better lighting, there are fragments in the coolant, which indicates that the service was really in the right order, because it can build up some residues from dirt or bad coolant, or if not the proper maintenance has been acquired. And also a lot of people use quick fixes on cheap cars. For instance, they use coolant cement to plug leaks in the radiator, or if a hose needs to flex more, they use some kind of adhesive additive to add to the coolant. So this could be anything. The coolant, as you can see, is fairly clear and has the right color, but the workshop in this case changed my water pump and also changed the fluids at the same time. So if you have the time to actually remove old coolant and reapply with new ones, you should do so to avoid residues like this. This is not much at all. I've seen a lot worse, especially when the coolant turned brown, or well, black or brown, depending on the problems with the engines, or if the owner didn't do proper maintenance, or they used cheap solutions to cover leaks of any kind or cracks. So I will not be saving this coolant, but if you were on the side of the road in need of like a top up for your car, if you had like coolant problems or overheating or something like that, you could probably use this again. But in my case, I just needed to extract the additional fluid, and I'm gonna return this to recycling, of course. So don't save your old coolant and reapply if you really don't have to, because stuff like this could show up. And it's not proper for your engine. So that's that. Okay, see you for another update.